there is one sector that continues to see good strength, and that indeed is the power sector. So it looks like the power sector continues to power ahead in trade today, and that's exactly what the spotlight is going to be on, or rather the BNSN lens is going to be on, isn't it, Shrishti? We will have to talk about power because power has been rallying, and now you cannot even miss that rally, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely, Sharon. Look at the move in BSE Power Index. That's up 28% in the past 6 months, and a lot many names like REC, Adani Power, PFC, Adani Green, they have almost doubled in the past 6 months. And onto the news flow today itself, power demand hits a lifetime high, but it's not just one trigger. There are multiple triggers that are play for the power sector. So let's dive in deep. And for this, our colleague Sharad Dubey is joining us live right now into the studios. So Sharad, take us through what's all is happening in the power space.
Well, it's a very interesting take. During monsoon, you are seeing the entire power demand being at all-time high levels. So just to put it in the context, of course, do remember there has been a deficit in the rainfall. Because of that, what has happened is a sultry weather in India, and the power demand has increased. And also because irrigation is also requiring power since rainfall has become less in most of the areas. These are the two main reasons. That is why we are seeing the entire peak demand coming in the month of August itself. But overall, let's look at the other key factors, the medium term as well as the long term structural factors kind of impacting the power segment. And of course, there is the important thing is the revival coming in the thermal capex as the legacy coal business that is re-rating. Apart from this, there is an improved regulatory norms coming in, and the DISCOM dues, that is an important major area of concern that has also been kind of falling over the last 2 years itself. And recently the government push is coming in for smart meters and also for the indigenization of the products which will be used in the smart meters. And of course, a reliable supply addition is also falling when it comes to the increased demand growth. However, there are certain risks also in the industry, which includes the delayed reforms, higher AT&C losses, and also the demand supply mismatch. But overall, a structural theme is what we are seeing right now.
Absolutely, a structural theme when it comes to the power sector. You know, Sharad, when we talk about the power sector, you are actually fixated with the stocks which have a suffix of a power linked to it, isn't it? Be it Tata Power, Adani Power. But there are a lot of them that don't have the suffix of power, but yet are power-linked stocks, right? Like you have the generation, you have the financiers. All of them are also actually seeing a sharp rally. It's not only stuck to the companies which have power related to
yes, and Shrishti actually pointed out earlier REC and PFC also.
Also JSW Energy for the matter of fact.
So the most of the power companies which are there in the entire ecosystem, they have been buzzing off late. And I'd like to just point out how the numbers have coming in. The BSE Power Index, that's up almost 28% in the last 6 months. But which are the key important players and how they have performed? Of course, REC and has gone up by more than 113%. Adani Power, PFC, Adani Green ranging between 80% plus returns, while we also have JSW Energy, BHEL, and these are also the names coming in the ancillary segment, which actually provide machinery as well as other ancillary services as well as products in the power segment. Now CG Power, NHPC, NTPC are also making it to the list by more than 20% odd. Now, do remember there are certain government names also which have been a dividend play stocks, but apart from this, they have also come into the growth momentum, and of course, a lot of broking upgrades have also happened.
Absolutely, a lot of brokerage upgrades coming in, and as recent it is also NTPC that has been making the list, not only from the brokerage side, also our technical analysts are pretty upbeat on it. But thank you so much for that, Sharad, for actually outlining what's working for the power sector and which are the companies that one should watch out for. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. But let's hear out what Nikunj Dalmia, who's the ET Now and ET Now Swadesh's managing editor, had to say about the power sector, especially decoding the triggers, and also what's the likely benefit from this power demand.
Why has demand gone higher? It's largely because of monsoon and the weather conditions. It is higher than what the peak summer was. So it's not always weather. I think it's also the demand which is coming from the industrial sector also. What's interesting, Avan, here is that we don't talk about it, is that if you look at the pattern in the power demand, it's not universal. So the day demand is less and the night demand is high. And you would say, kya ho raha hai? I mean, it is not that we're consuming more power in the night and we're consuming less power in the day. That's largely because India has done a lot of solar capacity addition. Since you've done a lot of solar capacity addition, post the sunset, the power which is getting generated from those solar capacity which have got added, I think is less. As a result, the power demand surge and the demand from the traditional thermal power utilities, I think is very high. And that is why you could ask yourself, okay, demand is high and demand in the evening is high. Who are the companies you would benefit? And that's where this graphic comes in. Companies which have traditional source of energy. And that's where NTPC scores and Tata Power scores. Tata Power has large installed capacity, but they are not expanding in thermal. NTPC has large thermal capacity, but they're committed to expand both non-renewable and renewable. So if you're looking at this as a trend, which is that power prices will remain elevated, power demand will remain high, winter demand is going to be strong, this mismatch of demand night more than day, then you're actually looking at a very differentiated approach. So go for flocks which have existing capacity, which will benefit because of this deep surge. Second, power cannot be stored, but JSW Energy is saying that we will be able to store power. You store power with this new technology they're coming with. So that's become the other port of call. So the theme here is power demand, but within that, day demand is less, night demand is more.
Yes.
And if the demand comes, what is available will be sold more, which means that existing companies with capacity, I think they will outperform. So don't go for the power capex theme right now.
Be selective here.
Yeah, don't go for the power capex theme. Don't go for companies which will benefit when the power capex will start. Power demand is real. It's here and now. And here and now, existing folks which have thermal capacity, less solar will benefit.
Okay, so that's the editor's take coming in on all these power space, that what are the likely triggers going ahead as well, and in this space, what kind of an upgradation that's happening, which are the companies that are likely to benefit. But with this, let's also take our discussion forward, and at this point in time, where are the opportunities still emerging after the stellar run-up that we have seen in all these power stocks? Let's understand and try to find the top picks in the same, and for this, we are being joined by Mr. A.K. Prabhakar, Head of Research at IBI Capital Markets, and we'll also be joined by Kunal Bothra with us. So, Mr. Prabhakar, firstly, your take on the power stocks with a kind of a run-up and the jump that we have seen in the past 6 odd months. Going ahead, where do you still find pockets for investing, as well as what's the outlook going ahead?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
No, still there is a lot of scope, for many stocks to run away. So JSW Energy is one which is already mentioned. Tata Power, they will come with solar, this thing now in their plant in Tamil Nadu, where in next 1 year they will start to manufacture solar panels and everything in India. So that is going to be a re-rating. And you have will double in the next 4 years. Now, currently, they have about 6,300 megawatt of capacity, which will go to 12 to 13,000. So I think even SJVN and hydropower for expansion, it takes 8 to 10 years. But whatever it was announced in the last 7 years are going to come on stream. So that is something NHPC and SJVN will benefit. So I think there are few stocks which are still not factored in. And for a 5-year or 3-year investor, these are stock to watch out for. NTPC is something which will benefit over a period of time also.
All right, so that's the view coming in from Mr. Prabhakar on the power sector. Very good morning to you, Mr. Prabhakar. Also joining us now is Kunal Bothra. A very good morning to you, Kunal, as well. And Kunal, were you chasing the power stocks, is it? Because I was waiting to ask this question to you. Which power stock should one eye? Because most of them are the ones that you've already recommended to our viewers. So do you think that we've missed the rally now in the power sector? Now's the time to actually stay put and wait for some sort of a consolidation to kick in or correction to kick in some of these names, or now also you can go ahead and bet?
Well, I doubt the consolidation or a correction could probably happen to these power stocks yet again, and that too of a similar magnitude like what we've seen earlier. I think the best way to try and capture this trend or the rally is to start participating right from the word go. We've seen many of the stocks breaking out, after years of being into a downtrend or into literally a sideways range for themselves. So when you have stocks like NTPC giving a multi-year breakout, you have the power finance stocks like REC, PFC, which have been doing exceptionally well for themselves in the last 4-5 months. It's always best to start participating into these stocks, because these are the kind of trends which result into strong multi-month, multi-year uptrend for stock prices. So bullish on power stocks, would recommend NTPC at current levels. That's the more formidable name. Tata Power also is looking attractive, but then 250 plus levels could be a strong confirmation breakout for Tata Power. And the power finance names, the likes of the RECs and PFCs, etc. Even these stocks, they look fairly attractive to me, and I've been bullish on these stocks earlier as well.
Okay, so that's the fundamental as well as technical take coming in on all the power stocks. A lot of stocks that our experts have highlighted for you, and you can have a look at that. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break.